Welcome back, everyone, to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. And what the fuck is Company of Heroes doing? Okay, never mind. What the fuck is going on? No, like, seriously, it won't boot me back into the game. What the fuck? What was that? And anyway, yes, it's a 2v2. And yeah, it's sent in by Adamir Magnum, who is playing as the USF. His friend is going to be Silent Hit as the Soviets, and the enemy team is going to be composed by Excali, playing as the OKW, and a Wehrmacht player, Dawn of Korn. Dawn of Korn. Why are you not playing as the Soviets then? So you can play as Korn Lord Khrushchev. Who are you, Dawn of Korn? Ah, well. Some dude. Anyway, the map is going to be Fields of Winnecoke or something like that. What is it called? Fields of Winneconk. Yeah, I don't know why these names are there, but anyway, it's kind of an open map. Like, there's a couple of buildings on the left, a couple of buildings on the right. But other than that, there's just a whole lot of open ground. So, machine guns. And we can see that Dawn of Korn is already going for some machine guns, whereas Adamir Magnum is going for infantry company. So he's going to get out a few rifles right off the bat. Silent Hit immediately going, actually, a Soviet industry and tier 1. Wow. Weird stuff going on, and he's going to get out a scout sniper squad. Of course, very, very open map, so might as well get a scout sniper squad, especially because he's against the OKW. I mean, I'm not sure if he knows this. Now they know that. That's loud. Now they know that because they see the left-hand side has pioneer squads in them. So they know that the OKW dude is on the right side, which means that the scout sniper is going to be very, very strong. Of course, giving up some early game capping power to just have that very, very strong ability to snipe squads and piss them off. Anyway, that machine gun is not in the best spot ever because, as you can see, it's got a very, very big blind spot caused by this tree and this hedgerow. But it's going to get a few shots at this rifleman squad, but the rifleman squad is getting around, and he's going to use, of course, all of the obstacles between it and the machine gun to stay safe. Stay safe, kids. And right now that rifleman is not in the best position because of the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers can get into this building, but the Grenadiers decide to fight them in the open, which might be a very, very bad idea. If the riflemen switch targets, just switch targets to the Grenadiers, they could go down, but yeah, the Grenadiers will force them out. It looks like the sniper was also forced out, and that's going to cause, you know, the lone engineer squad to face the lone engineer squad with the automatic weapons. So the lone engineer squad with the automatic weapons is going to win. And the rifle fight, you see that the Penal Battalion is very, very much outnumbered by the Volksgrenadier squads. So at this point, as you can see, we are going to have Silent Hit being forced back entirely from his side of the map and back into his base. Although, with the sniper being around, he can start to get some pot shots in. Man, the sniper did not even get one shot into these guys. There was some serious problem, it looks like, with the sniper. But, well, the Penals are going to be coming in fast and hard, and that's going to allow Silent Hit to recover some of that infantry deficiency. As you can see, we do have the riflemen trying some desperate sneak caps behind the lines, getting some good harassment, and this is going to force, of course, Dawn of Korn to reposition all of his troops, which means that the other riflemen over here can come around and capture the VP, but I think that this rifleman squad will be soon forced to retreat by the MG42's suppressing fire. As you can see, the riflemen getting some good results on these Grenadiers, but they're going to have to escape if they don't want to get wiped in this rifle fight. And right now, yeah, the Penals are back, of course, pushing back the Volksgrenadiere, and that's okay. That is very, very okay for Silent Hit, who has lost a little bit starting off, but he can get some territory back under his belt, back under his control. Of course, if he can use the sniper, it would be even better. Sniper with only 2 kills at this point means that he has been having some problems, and the Germans are also going for snipers as well, which might be a pretty bad idea considering that the German sniper is 1 guy. The Soviet sniper squad is 2 people. So when the German sniper fires and you know, kills 1 Soviet sniper guy. Another is going to take his place because he is the Soviets, and so when one man dies, second takes his gun and shoots. And yeah, he's going to take up the sniper rifle because normally this guy is only the spotter. You see, he doesn't have a scope on his Mazin Nagant glorious rifle of Soviet motherland. So once the actual snipers die, the spotter is going to take up the rifle and shoot. And right now, well, there's no need for that because the first guy is still alive and he's still shooting fascist pig. And these poor Volksgrenadiers are, well, not very happy about that. Two of their comrades being murdered. And what the fuck is the sound? One, there's new music. Two, there were no rifle sounds for a little bit. Anyway, at least we have the rifle sounds back. And they're going to be useful because we see that these M1 Garand equipped riflemen are just advancing mercilessly. They could take this point, but there's actually no point in taking that point because they've already gone this point, which is a cutoff. As you can see, snakes up this road and cuts off the munitions. So this is pretty good for the Allies. Cutting off that munitions income is going to be pretty okay against the Wehrmacht player. As always, pretty useful to just cut off territories in general. Pinos coming up and trying to take these fuel points, but not having the best of times. They should really run away, otherwise they're going to get wiped. It's very, very likely that they're going to get wiped. Unfortunately, they are wiped. So you see that Silent Hit was kind of focused on the left-hand side with his micromanagement skills, and unfortunately he lost that squad, which is a big shame considering that he's still only got 2 squads, of which one of them is a conscript and one of them is a penal. So against the 4 Volksgrenadier sporting Excali, he's going to be very, very outnumbered. So he needs some extra help in terms of manpower. But, oh well, potato masher. Oh well, guess he expected those Pinos to move up. Wait. Haha. That's cool. Conscripts of SVT. Well, that's because he's been using Merge. That's why these conscript infantry squads were at lower strength. Very, very good move, actually, because the conscripts, whenever they merge with other squads, they're still the conscript model, but then they take the other squad's weaponry. So, for example, if we're going to be merging the conscript squad with a shock troop, you're going to get Papa Shah conscripts essentially for free. See, the thing is, though, it's actually Papa Shah conscripts that are better than the normal Papa Shah conscripts because they have the weapon of the shock troops, so they actually do more damage than if it was a conscript squad with the PPSH submachine gun. But they, with the shock troops, they don't get, of course, the armor. Whereas with the Pinos, I mean, there's really nothing to lose. You might as well just get, you might as well just do some merging. As you can see, like, here's the Pinot model. He looks a little different, but I don't think there's actually any difference between these two models because it's not like the Pinots are elite infantry anyway, and so it's pretty okay for it. Just get that rifleman in there, and you're gonna have conscripts of SVTs, which is fine as well. As you can see, Silent Hit is starting to recapture the right side. Still some problems for Adamir on the left side, but he's finally gotten out the Stuart from the captain. And the Stuart is going to scare away the sniper, of course. But it gets in a little bit too close to this Grenadier squad. He's going to eat a Panzerfaust to the face. He did the same earlier, but now he's in a very, very, very bad position because this Pack 40 has just arrived from the fatherland in order to support the Axis anti-tank effort. The Grenadiers that applied the Panzerfaust are probably going to die. Yep, they are wiped. But, you know, the Stuart is still in trouble. We do have the other shot from the Pack, which hits the ruined house, which is very, very fortunate for the Stuart, which is trying to escape. The Grenadiers, however, are going to put an end to that with a second Panzerfaust, or is that going to have enough damage? No, it will not, actually. So the Stuart is still around, and the American infantry is absolutely smashing the German counterattack, and the second Grenadier squad goes down as well. However, the Pack is relentless in its pursuit, and it will destroy the Stuart. Thankfully for the Stuart's crew, they had bailed out to repair, so at least their crew is saved. Better than nothing. Nice flank coming in from Silent Hit. He's going to get behind that machine gun, which was also getting sniped, by the way, by the Scout Sniper Squad. And right now, while the Volksgrenadiers are recapturing the fuel point, the Soviets are recapturing all the other points around here. So it's kind of a constant back and forth. And finally, the Soviet player has enough infantry to screen these snipers from the nasty Volksgrenadiers that are going to be trying to suppress their existence. So this is pretty good, of course, for the Soviets, as they're going to be able to push the Germans back. And the Germans have decided to go with a mechanized regiment headquarters and a Lux instead of a battle headquarters. So this is going to mean less map control in the meantime for Excali, who cannot reinforce on the field. While, you know, the Panzer II Lux is going to very much help against the Tier 1 of Silent Hit. So that's actually kind of okay, because no PTRSs were upgraded yet by these Penal Battalion units. German sniper also getting to work, getting some kills on the American riflemen that are pushing up against the base. And right now, as you can see, the Germans are not in the best ways. Don of Korn has a few bits of fuel in his inventory. The problem is he cannot use them because he just keeps having to get new manpower, expensive units, just to try to hold on to whatever map control he can, which is not being all that successful, to be honest. Here comes the Lux, and that's bad. I think these riflemen might die. If the Lux can get some good shots in on them, they're going to die. Will the Lux chase them down? No, it looks like he will try to be more safe, which, I mean, it could have gone a lot better for him. Had he chased, there was absolutely no AT on the field for the Allies. This is a big mistake, especially from Admir Magnum, because he had 826 manpower, which means that considering that he went for a captain, he could get a couple of anti-tank guns just right off the bat. And honestly, with the Lux being spotted at this exact time that the Lux had been spotted, if I were Admir Magnum, I would have just queued up a couple of anti-tank guns. And actually, considering that he had like 700-800 manpower while having a captain, he should have probably queued up a couple of anti-tank guns before, just in case. And, well, this is going to allow the Germans, once again, to get back into this, getting some map control back into this game for them. And that's, of course, very good. Looks like the first kind of piece of AT that the Allies are going to have is just a couple of PTRSs from these Penals. Not going to be enough to stop this Lux, as the Lux gets behind the green cover of these Penals and just lays the smackdown on them with the 20mm autocannon. This is not looking too good for those Penals. Once again, if the Lux chases, they can probably wipe out that Penal, but he's not going to chase. He's being very conservative, and that's going to hurt in the long term for the Axis, because it kind of makes sense to be afraid with your Lux, but you should at least not be too scared that you're not going to take chances to wipe out enemy units. Considering how nimble the Lux can be. Also, there's no minesweepers, so that may be why he's kind of afraid. But he's got enough munitions to upgrade those minesweepers, so yeah, whatever. Yeah, looks like the conscripts are coming in, but they don't have anti-tank grenades. No anti-tank grenade purchased from Silent Hit means that the conscripts there are just a little bit of a screen for the Penal PTRSs. Scout Sniper Squad, in the meantime, just absolutely decimating these Volksgrenadiers, forces them back, and allows the Soviet infantry to fight in the center front. And that's kind of good. However, the left side is once again swinging back into German hands. So very much back and forth. And in this back and forth, thanks to the fact that this MG had been, where's the MG42? It's over here. But it had been in this building all this time. That has kept the victory point on the left side under the control of Germany. And the Germans have also had the center most of this time thanks to this MG. So what this has meant is that the Allies are down to 316 VPs. Probably with some triple capping going on as well, once the tide was swinging the way of the Germans instead of the Allies. So that's pretty great for them, and that's the only advantage that the Germans have had so far. So, well, I'm sure they're very happy about this. And Admir Magnum, he's got a few riflemen. 5 rifleman squads. So this is kind of interesting because it's like one sniper. And you may be thinking, oh, one sniper, why not? But one sniper can only shoot so fast, and when there's literally 20 riflemen breathing down your necks with M1 Garands and M1919 light machine guns, well, the one Kar 98 can only shoot and reload so quickly. So as you can see, the sniper was forced away. T-34-76 on the field for silent hit, and that's an okay choice. Second T-34-76 on the field already, in fact. So I kind of understand that more now that I see it. It's going to be the spam of 76. Oh, this is... Okay, he's lucky to have retreated just at the moment, because had he waited a little bit longer, he would have been wiped. Really retreat that squad. Is he going to get wiped by the sniper? No sniper shot. Oh, well. So the two T-34-76s are going to be very, very strong against the Lukes. Please ram the Lukes. Ram the Lukes. Oh, no, you're not going to ram the Lukes. That was sad. Anyway, he's still gonna die though, because of the Panzerfaust coming in from the flank from these glorious Volksgrenadiere. However, the smoke of the destroyed Lukes might save it from the Raketenwerfer. So that's kind of lucky for the T-34-76. Is there anything that can help it though? Probably, well, if he could swing in this Pinot unit from the rear, it might scare away the Raketenwerfer. And there's also a second T-34 which was repairing back at the repair station. Of course, now it's in combat, so the repair guys running back to safety. However, these Volksgrenadiers that are pushing up don't really notice this, and they're going to move up on the absolute open against two 76mm armed battle tanks, and that's not going to be good for it. Although the Raketenwerfer is still around, does it have the line of sight? It shoots. It was actually an attack round shot. Nice attempt by Excali, but he's gonna fail, unfortunately. And the Penals forcing the guy back. Left-hand side finally being captured by Admir Magnum, because the German MG has left, or in some way was forced back. Yes, it was forced back. So Dawn of Korn is back to square one. He was earlier on controlling the left-hand side, but now he doesn't control even that anymore. And the rest of his units are essentially back at base. He does have a tier 3 though, support armor core, with 109 fuel in the bank. Looks like we're going to see some Panzer IVs coming out of him, and that would be an okay choice, because it would counter these T-34-76s relatively, well, it wouldn't really hard counter them, but it would be effective against the T-34-76 spam to get a lot of Panzer IVs of your own. Of course, a Panzer IV is also going to bridge the gap to this Tiger, which is going to be 4 CPs away. To be completely honest, Dawn of Korn could really just wait and get the Tiger, and that might be a wiser decision, but we'll see. So Dawn of Korn, of course, gonna try to support with the MG42, but again, the left-hand side is like the worst place for the MGs on this whole map, because the right side, yeah, the right side has got some obstacles. It's got the buildings, and sometimes you can do some nice flanking over here. But the left-hand side actually has all the hedgerows everywhere that are gonna prevent the line of sight of the MG. And as you can see, it's very, very easy for these riflemen to just move around. Whereas the center is just an open field. So literally the right side is the worst place to put an MG in this map. And that's what Dawn of Korn has been choosing to do, which hasn't really been giving him the best chances of succeeding with that MG. Second sniper squad on the field for silent hit, and that's an interesting choice, because it's going to be okay against the enemy infantry. I mean, at this point, it looked like silent hit was getting the superiority anyway when it comes to infantry. And to be honest, I don't see how the Axis could have gained the superiority back. Especially with these two T-34s. I don't really see how, with the T-34s blowing these Volksgrenadiers to bits, they could have defeated all the Soviet infantry. To be fair, there's not a lot of Soviet infantry. But still, yeah, we do have the Panzer IV on the field. While the riflemen were actually busy decrewing this Pak 40 AT gun, now the riflemen might try to swing around the Pak 40 against the Panzer IV. But no, it looks like they're going to go with the spam of anti-tank grenades from the rifles. And yeah, then they have to escape, as expected. Fuel cache on the field for Dawn of Korn. Actually an okay choice, considering that he has been pushed back out of his fuel most of the time. Right now, the Germans do control the right side fuel. But with this point being captured, very, very good cutoff move from silent hit. The Americans and the Soviets have been very, 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 very good at using the cutoffs. Admir Magnum is now up to 7 rifleman squads, plus the captain. The most obvious weakness of this is the lack of AT. Like, it's just not good. However, it's going to definitely oppress these grenadiers back into the base. And it might even be good enough to oppress all of the right side OKW troops back into the base. Some nice Panzerfausts, but yeah. And now, exactly what I thought was going to be coming out earlier is coming out, the glorious Katyusha. At this point, though, it might be a little bit too late to go for a Katyusha, because at this point you might as well go for an Su-85 to help deal with enemy vehicles, because, again, already have so much anti-infantry. I don't think you need the artillery piece as well. But, oh well, that's what he's going to go for. Triple cap is on the field for the Allies, and that's good. However, the Germans are coming back with a vengeance, and to be more precise, with a Panzer IV. And the Panzer IV 75mm is going to be very, very good against those conscripts. However, can the left side be reclaimed by the Germans? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it, because we do have the spam of riflemen that is present all over the map. Looks like we have a Katyusha barrage falling down on some infantry, but it's going to miss. And these conscripts, unfortunately for the Panzer IV, he got kind of baited straight into a mine. As you know, as I was saying, minesweepers are pretty useful. I was talking about Excalizors here. If you get who that is, well, good. You had some interesting times back in the childhoods. Anyway, still, the thing is, Excali was supposed to have that minesweeper. Now, with Dawn of Corn, he doesn't have the minesweeper either. He pushes into P4 into an area that didn't know what was there, like it was uncharted for him, and he, you know, kind of, yeah, he reaps what he sows. Anyway, one of the T-34-76 dies. The second one is the track. No, it's not the track. That's got its engine damaged from the, looks like Panzerfaust of one of these guys. However, the Pak-40, because of all the smoke and all the hedgerows and all of that, can't actually fire on this guy. And this guy is now going around and going to try to get behind the Pak-40. In the meantime, the Pak-40 is being attacked in the front by the snipers. So the snipers might actually be able to save the T-34-76 from almost certain destruction, and they're going to be able to destroy the anti-tank gun. Panzerabwehrkanone being wiped out, and also the MG being wiped out by the American rifleman hordes. So the Germans failing to get anti-infantry yet again, and they're paying the price. They're still coming back over with more, you know, grenadiers. To be honest, that Panzer IV was really, really a big disappointment. What that Panzer IV should have represented for the Germans was a way to really seriously bleed out these American infantry squads. The Panzer IV 75mm gun is pretty good against the likes of T-34-76s and the Shermans and all of that, but it's especially good at dealing with enemy infantry, especially if you're going to get the pinto-mounted machine gun. The Panzer IV can sport some serious anti-infantry firepower, on the par with a lot of other more, in fact, on par with a lot of other more specialized anti-infantry units that the Germans can get, because the Panzer IV can fire a heck of a lot faster than a Brummbär, so it's less dependent on RNG. And it's, you know, it's more versatile than the Ostwind as a whole. So, to be completely honest, the Panzer IV can be used in an anti-infantry role, and it should be used in an anti-infantry role, because look at this. Like, Admir Magnum is kind of blobbing with his infantry. Had that Panzer IV been here, firing at maximum range on these units, I would have guaranteed you at least a couple of kills. And then, if the riflemen, you know, try to attack your Panzer IV, you just back off. So, better micro on that Panzer IV, and, well, perhaps a little bit better RNG, and then building up a veritable horde of P4s was the answer to this. Because, to be honest, this might look like it's very, very oppressive, and, yeah, it kind of is, because the German infantry can't do anything, because whenever they try to do anything, they get destroyed by they get destroyed by essentially 6,000 rounds of freedom per minute from all these verticals. However, it's not like all that is in the world is made of flesh and is able to be pierced by a vertical. So had that Panzer IV been a better you know, investment for the Germans, and it was entirely dependent on whether or not the Panzer IV could be microed well, then those riflemen would have had a very, 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 very bad day indeed. Admir Magnum is saving up a lot of resources because he wants to know if he has to get some Jacksons. That's a very good decision. His buddy over here is coming in with the KV-2, the KV-2 strongest tank in Soviet Russia. And as you can see, strongest tank is kind of smashing down this headquarters over here. And it's going to also probably pound away at this Rakan River. As expected, strong KV-2 doesn't take shit from anyone. In the meantime, though, the T-34-76 is taking shit from these Volksgrenadiers. So, yeah, it looks like the Germans are trying to get back with their infantry. But, I mean, these pitiful little squads are soon going to be drowned in freedom, I would think. Yeah, the riflemen get healed up, and now the riflemen are going to come around and try to take everything. Oh, risky place to be if you're a Soviet sniper. It looks like one of these snipers is being focused down by the Folks, but the Folks, with their shitty aim, cannot actually kill the guy. Should have, you know, spent more time hunting in, like, Uncle Fritz's woods or whatever, and unfortunately, that's going to mean that Excali has lost a nice opportunity to wipe out some Soviet snipers. At this point, the Sturmtiger might save Excali, but the Germans are just so out and cut off from any fuel that really the Soviet player with the tank spam of Soviet industry is just going to take over when it comes to the armor department. And Adamir Magnum as well can probably just get 3 Shermans. Like, honestly, oh, 2 Shermans. 2 Shermans. So, perhaps instead of 2 Shermans, a Sherman and a Jackson. Because considering his pop cap is the way it is, yeah. Unfortunate. 3 Shermans had been, you know, going on my mind, if you may. Because they would have been very cool to see. Because they would have just been a steamroller of democracy. But oh well, looks like the brave Sturm Pioneers are trying to come in and destroy the KV-2 heavy assault tank. And the KV-2 heavy assault tank and the T-34-76 have something to say about this. T-34-76 is just going to come in and do the Grand Theft Soviet, the Grand Theft Uralvagon Zavod, and just run over all of the German infantry. Grand Theft Chelyabinsk, absolutely destroying everything. And now, the T-34 can just come in. KV-2 can get himself, you know, some repairs with the vehicle crew self-repair. Of course, you know, generously provided by the state in the form of the Soviet industry tactics. Generously provided by the glorious Soviet Federation. And now, with that KV-2 back on track, he can come around and capture the center. And this is like the biggest flank of, like, ever. And the results were predictable. Firing squad absolutely obliterates that machine gun. Also, we're gonna have these these poor grenadiers trying to escape the Fally's pocket over here, and the pioneers are not gonna make it. The grenadiers are gonna make it, only to be replaced by the you know, poor replacement, the Volksgrenadiers. But poor or qualitative, it does not matter when you're faced with this wall of lead coming straight from you know, Springfield Arms. And oh boy. Oh boy, we do have the savior. The savior. The savior. Come on. Come on. Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles. 24 kills. That was entirely predictable, to be honest. Although not to the Allies, because Excali had shown absolutely no signs of going elite armor doctrine. I don't think he had really used anything. Of course, Adamir Magnum, you know, has to congratulate him on a good shot, but it does not really matter that he has lost, you know, 24 riflemen. Has he actually lost any squads from that? Might have lost. Well, 1 rifleman lost throughout the entire game, so at most, that was 1 wipe. That was actually kind of the good thing about having such a massive blob. If the massive blob gets hit, you know, in the sort of center/right or center/up. Okay, so what I mean, I'm speaking bullshit, I know. But like, imagine this is the blob, right? So if it gets hit, if it gets hit in the sort of center right, it's gonna hit a lot of characters, a lot of models, and kill a lot of models. But if it's a true blob, the squads are going to be arranged in such a way that really the squads are not blobbed. Like, the squad members themselves are just intermixed all over. So as you can see, what you have is that you have a lot of these squads with like 3 members, 1 member. So there were a lot of losses of actual riflemen and captain dudes. The major was it the Major itself? Yes, the Major itself was murdered by that 380 millimeter rocket. Is it a 380 millimeter? 376 kilogram. 380 millimeter. Oh wow, that's an interesting. 376 kilogram, and it's a 38 centimeter caliber. Huh. Wonder if there's any. Nah, that does not make any sense. Anyway, while there were a lot of kills, it didn't actually wipe out. Well, it wiped out one squad, which means that it only wiped out in terms of actual resources. Let's consider, like, okay, so this is going to be the end of the game, but let's actually consider, like, how much that shot wiped out. So it killed 24 infantry. Let's just assume that it were all riflemen. And riflemen, I believe, cost 28 manpower to replenish. So the Sturm Tiger just wiped out, well, 20 times 28 equals, sorry, my math is bad. That's 160 plus 400, 500 and, wait, am I stupid? No. Hold on. 28 times 20. Oh god. 28 times 10 equals 280, 160. Okay, so 560. Then there's 4 more, so that's like what? 16, 32 plus 40. That's 72 plus 560. So that's 432-ish manpower. 432 manpower plus a full squad, which means that it's 280 more minus I am retarded, so that's actually 140 more. So it wiped out around 800 manpower worth of riflemen plus like what, 140. Yeah, 140 munitions, because it also took out 2 like machine guns. Yeah, so it wiped out 800 manpower and 140 in terms of munitions, which was very, very unfortunate. Now let's assume that Panzer IV. Let's assume a very, very realistic kill rate of every engagement you kill 4 riflemen, and you have an engagement every 2 minutes. That Panzer IV had been built when? Panzer IV had been built probably around 10 minutes now, was it? No, 15 minutes. Come on. That wasn't a 10-minute P4. That was an 18-minute P4. Okay, so that was around 10 minutes ago. So let's assume 5 engagements in which every engagement 4 riflemen perished. So that would be 40 riflemen dead. At a medium, okay? This is not a realistic representation, of course. So at a medium, the Panzer IV, a lot less glamorous, but that Panzer IV would have been very, very effective at bleeding out Adamir Magnum, because this 24 kills was around, again, 800 manpower. So 40 kills, let's assume, would have been around 1,400 manpower. And oh, look, guess how much manpower Adamir Magnum has right about now in the reserves. He's got 1,239 plus whatever is 560 more from this. So that's going to be, around 1,800 manpower. So Adamir Magnum right now would be in a lot more of a struggling situation had that Panzer IV been actually used more conservatively to fire on the riflemen. And that's entirely my point. Like, you know, you need the constant, to face like this kind of infantry spam, you don't need to wipe them all out at once. You don't need to wait until you have like the Sturm Tiger. Don't need to wait until you have like, you know, in this case, the Tiger. Don't need to wait until you have like the perfect, I'm gonna wipe out everything. You can also just slowly but surely grind them down, attrition them out, and that's gonna be very, very effective against this kind of many infantry units in one place. Because the other thing is that this is very, very bad on the income. Like, you can see that Adamir Magnum right now has much less manpower income than the Germans. That is because he has a bunch of riflemen, a bunch of units, bunch of manpower intensive stuff. And yeah, he's going to need a lot of income to supplement that. Of course, we also have Silent Hit with not a lot of income right now, but that's because he was repairing, was it? Really now? So little manpower for him. Wow. These vehicles must be expensive in terms of upkeep. Anyway, so that's kind of my point. Don't underestimate attrition and use attrition. Otherwise, well, the riflemen will come for you. And, well, they will probably come for your family as well. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed this massive rifleman spam. And, yeah, I'll see you soon. It was pretty good.